What's up, Futuro fam? So the LA Fit Expo is an amazing event with tons of amazing sponsors and free samples and booths and celebrities and everything you'd want in an amazing fitness event. However, like anything, there's a bunch of things I wish I knew before going to it. There's a lot of chaos and hecticness that comes along with the LA Fit Expo, and there's a lot of things that happened during the expo that I did not expect, especially for my first time going. So in this video, I'm talking about these 7 things that I wish I knew before going to the LA Fit Expo. Number 1, big companies and meet and greets first. This is huge. I look at the LA Fit Expo, especially the way things are laid out, very similar to, like, say, Disneyland or Universal Studios, right? As you know, when you go to Disneyland, especially right when the park opens, what do? You book it to Space Mountain, because Space Mountain is, well, the most popular ride, and one of the most popular rides. And if you wait even just an hour or two, that line can sometimes take like 3 hours just to ride that ride. And it's very similar when it comes to LA Fit Expo. Gigantic companies, like the biggest companies, will always have huge lines. I mean, I know people who said they waited almost kind of comparable, 2 to 3 hours just to get their free stuff, just to get their free samples. And the biggest companies fill out the fastest. So my best advice right off the bat is you get basically the program for the LA Fit Expo, look at the companies and circle the ones that you think are gonna be the most popular, the biggest. Even if you're not maybe that into them, maybe like say you're more interested in other companies, go to the biggest ones first. Because I promise you, if you wait, and this goes for meet and greets too, right? There's a famous, celebrity or an influencer or basically a fitness person that you really want to meet. Get there right when the LA Fit Expo starts, because if you don't, the line is really going to be hours long. Number 2, get and receive business cards. Now, I've said in numerous different videos when I've talked about networking that I still feel like a business card is one of the best networking tools, right? I know, trust me, everybody, especially at the LA Fit Expo, will take out their phone and follow you on Instagram. I think that's the most popular thing to do. But a business card is still a physical, tangible thing you can give to somebody, and you can get it back as well. And obviously, as you can imagine, on a business card, there's usually more personal information, like the person's email or even their phone number sometimes. And especially if, let's say, you're in the position where you want to get a sponsorship, you want to get some type of deal, you just basically want to work with some of these huge companies, make sure you go to the booth, ask for like the manager or basically the person in charge, and get their business card. That way, when you go home, you have this stack of business cards with all the emails and the numbers and all the contact information you need to basically make a networking opportunity a realization. Number 3, be prepared to work out. I did not expect this, and I'm not joking. I'm not just talking about, try to do 10 push-ups or something like that. I'm talking about there are some challenges that they have at the LA Fit Expo that are grueling. I'm talking like there's time trials and rep competitions and everything you can imagine. I would almost suggest maybe take 1 to 2 days off before the LA Fit Expo, so that way you're completely ready to go. I mean, I did not expect the amount of fitness competitions. I figured there'd be some type of fitness stuff where it's like, who can do the most push-ups in a minute or something like that. But I did not expect the gigantic amount of intense competitions that happen at the LA Fit Expo. And obviously, if you win them or get, placed in some of them, you get amazing prizes. So I highly suggest, 1, like I said, be ready to go. I mean, I would suggest not working out a couple days beforehand so you're really, really fresh. And number 2, bring workout clothes. I mean, when I went, I think this is actually the outfit I wore my first time. I wore just like a tank top and jeans, and I regretted it. I was like, shoot, why did I not wear sweatpants or something that's more, comfortable or more gym workout ready? Number 4, avoid on-the-spot samples. Now, obviously, one of the best parts about the LA Fit Expo is the free stuff. I mean, think about it, right? You have tons of free samples being thrown your way. And there's mainly 2 types of free samples. 1 is what I'd like to call an on-the-spot sample, and 2 is one that you can take home with you. So obviously, an on-the-spot sample, something like, say, this some type of liquid, and almost like a shot type glass, right, that you take real quick. Cannot suggest enough, avoid them, or if you're gonna have them, ask what it is. The reason why is because, as you can imagine, if you're not thinking, or if, like, say, you're just having whatever gets thrown at you, you can have a lot of stuff. My first time I went, anytime I saw something for free, and they're like, hey, we have a, half shot of this, and they start talking, I was like, okay, cool. And I would just take the shot, right? I wouldn't even think about it. And an hour later, my stomach, killed, and I felt super jittery, and I was like, oh my God. And I looked back on it, and I was like, wait a minute, I just tried 10 or 15 different types of pre-workout drinks, right? I tried 10 or 15 different types of proteins and BCAAs and every fitness supplement you can think of. So one thing I'd highly suggest just to be aware of is you have an on-the-spot sample. Remember that you're taking it right then and there. And I know that sounds really simple and obviously Captain Obvious to say out loud, but just keep that in mind, because for me, I wasn't really thinking of how much I was having, right? Because I was, it's only half an ounce, but if you have 10 or 20 of them, that adds up very fast, especially for something like pre-workouts. I was almost too jittery where I'm like, oh my God, this sucks. Like now I'm like super jittery and, I'm just trying to walk around and talk to people and everything, right? So obviously if they give you the sample to take home, you're all set. But make sure if you're having an on-the-spot sample, at least if you're going to have it, always ask what's in it. Just be prepared. Number 5, plan ahead. Now, when it comes to the Fit Expo, what I love about it is there's tons of events. Now, like I said way in the beginning of this video, obviously make sure that right when it starts, you book it to the most popular booth, or the booth or the company that you think is going to be the most packed the earliest on. So make sure you do that. But there's so many events. For example, for me, and I've talked about this in other videos, I love Battle of the Bars. It's the one thing I look forward to more than anything. And obviously, every year, I can't remember what time it starts. I think this past year, in 2019, I think it was like 3 p.m. or something like that, maybe 2 p.m. I can't remember exactly, right? But anyway, I made sure to kind of structure my schedule, be like, okay, I'm going to hit these popular companies first. I know they're going to take some time. It's not going to be an in-and-out type situation. I'm going to kind of give myself some time in case, like, say, I stop and talk to somebody and network with them. So I literally had my schedule almost planned out of what I was going to do. I basically went around Battle of the Bars. Or like say if you want to look at the jiu-jitsu, type competition they have or something else, make sure you kind of plan ahead, because at first glance, the LA Fit Expo just seems like a lot of free stuff, which it is. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of free stuff. But then you realize, wait a minute, there's so many events and opportunities and little things they have going on, like the Spartan races happen, for example, and all this other stuff. So make sure you look at the schedule and plan ahead. Number 6, visit every booth. Now, the one thing I love about the LA Fit Expo is that it's 2 days. And at first, you may be like, wow, like 2 days, that's kind of a long time, especially because each day, I think it's like 8 to 9 hours or whatever it is. But then you come and realize there's hundreds of companies that go, of everything you could think of. Not just protein drinks and pre-workouts, but there's different apparel companies, there's different equipment companies that specialize just in specific equipment, there's like event-based companies. I mean, you have every single thing you could think of that revolves around fitness at the LA Fit Expo. I mean, it makes sense. And one big thing I suggest is to make sure you check out every booth. Like, honestly, again, plan ahead, like I said earlier. But after you basically do all, like, say, the big companies, and, like, say, you see the events that you want to see, like Battle of the Bars, for example, I would suggest going all the way to, table number 1 and just do the zigzag all the way through. Because you never know. Like, there were some companies that I started talking to that I didn't know exist. And at first glance, I was like, I'm not really interested in that. But then I started talking to them, realized more of what they did, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is really interesting, actually. This is something I'm really into. And you never know what you're going to encounter, right? And obviously, when it comes to the LA Fit Expo, you pay one price to get in for those 2 days, or 1 day pass, depending on if you want to do the 1 or 2 day passes. So you might as well explore as much as you can. So after you get everything done, like I said, plan ahead. So after you get everything done in terms of like the big companies, and you see the events you want to see, I'm telling you, do just a quick zigzag, or I guess a long zigzag, because it's a lot of companies, and literally check out every single one you can find. Number 7, last, but definitely not least, be nice and respectful. Now, I know this is probably like a weird one to kind of finish off with, but this is coming from me because not only obviously have I been to the LA Fit Expo, obviously, that's why I'm filming this video, but I've also been on the other end. I used to be a brand ambassador, and I know what it's like being on the other side of the table, both literally and figuratively, giving out free samples and people just being extremely rude. And especially when I was at the LA Fit Expo, I cannot describe to you and even say how many times I saw tons of fitness people, and I hate to say it, and don't get me wrong, I love fitness. It's been a huge part of my life since I can remember, but fitness people have huge egos. They can be a little bit rude, especially when you have those jack guys walking through who have this resting, I don't know what I call it, resting bro face, I don't know, whatever you want to say. Like, I saw so many people, would go up to people who were giving out free samples and take them and not even acknowledge them. They didn't even act like they were real people. They just took the sample and said, oh, no, I don't want to hear it, and that kind of stuff. Be nice and respectful. It really does go a long way. And I mean, there were so many times, for me, for example, that I'd start talking to an employee who was working at a table, and obviously I wasn't trying to get anything out of it, but I was like, oh, like, how's your day going so far? You know, I used to be a brand ambassador as well. I know what it's like. I know what it's like waking up super early and setting up these complicated tables and these weird tents sometimes and all this kind of stuff. And I got more free stuff and more maybe exclusive items, if I'd call it that, just by being nice. And obviously, like I said, I'm not trying to, you know, be persuasive or get anything out of them, but I think this is more just like a human thing, just being nice, respectful to everybody who's working there. And I'm telling you too, like, especially if you want to pursue fitness as your actual career, whether you want to be an influencer or a model or a personal trainer, whatever the case is, being nice, respectful really goes a long way. And obviously those people who are super rude and super mean and just not the type of people you want to associate with, word spreads very fast. So that's one big thing I really have to say, especially I feel like compared to most conventions that I've been to, because let's be honest, everyone loves free stuff, like I said, and sometimes it can be a little chaotic when it comes to getting free stuff. But I noticed at the LA Fit Expo, I've never seen so many people be more rude, aggressive, and disrespectful when it comes to getting free stuff. So that's one big thing I want to say. Be nice, be respectful, and you're going to have an amazing time.